what are you working on as the leader? Or what is one skill that you're working to develop over the next 6 months to a year that'll help take value AI to the next level?
A few things. One is leverage.
Hmm.
I've really, it's really clicked for me this last year. It's very easy to go and advise and earn money and then keep it all for yourself and not scale,
Hmm.
versus spending the money on the right kind of people to help you do things that you shouldn't be doing. Like, I used to do all my own marketing. I'm not a marketing person, but I used to do it because I was too controlling and I didn't want to pay for somebody, and now I'm paying somebody, and she's really good, and it's just taken a whole lot of stress off me. The community I used to, everything and maybe this is a good thing too. Everything I start, I always run it first, and then I hire somebody. That's become my new sort of approach. So I understand how it works before I go hire somebody and before I hand it over. But that leverage piece is really great because now, and I was talking to someone about it today. Um, when I have busy periods with customers, when they're throwing their toys out the cot, so to speak, and I need to go in deep and help them out, the business doesn't stop because I'm not there. It might slow down. I might still be a bottleneck for one or two decisions or whatever, but I try and empower my teams as much as possible to do stuff, or my people at least, so that they own it, and they own the result of it. And yes, there might be cases where they do something completely different to what I would do, and I've got to check myself and go, you can't get cross, you can't correct them because maybe they're actually doing something that you hadn't thought of that's got more value than what you would have done. So there's that
Hmm.
learning as well. So I think, from a self improvement point of view, it's giving up control,
Hmm.
so the business can grow. It's staying focused on what are the real value things for the product and for the offerings we have. So simple and effective, and then just not burning out.
Yeah, 100%. Do you think about some of the other things you're doing as leverage as well? Obviously, you're building a software product, and so there's no cost of replication for that platform you're building. So I would say that code is also leverage. And then you talked about capital, right? Considering perhaps taking funding down the line, and that would obviously allow you to grow, improve the code, and hire more people and grow faster. So I don't know if you think of those as leverage as well.
Yeah, it is, and that's exactly it. So the reason why I haven't gone out for funding yet is because when I have those discussions, I want to have the maximum leverage I can get out of those conversations. So
Hmm.
and it's been interesting in the sense that I've been working with other people who are also founding their own things. Some that have taken funds from day one, some that are like me, bootstrapping, and in some cases you have to. There's no way to do what you want to do unless you've got funds raised. Um,
Hmm.
and I've seen the stress that goes with that. In the same token, I've seen others where the other one that's in parallel to me at the moment, they are they're self-funding, but they're running out of runway, and they're getting,
Hmm.
I don't want to say desperate. That's not fair, but they're getting to the point where they're willing to take any deal to keep it going,
Mm.
um, and they're losing objectivity on how good their idea is and all that stuff because of the emotional stuff that's going on. And I'm trying to sort of stay in the middle of that where we're on the right track, we're getting good traction, and then when we have that conversation to go faster to increase our leverage, we're in a strong position to have those discussions. And I think that if that works, then that would be, if I look back 5 years from now and I look back and go, were we in the right position? I won't second guess the decision I make on that because I think we've played it the right way.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart of you. You have to be diligent and seek funding at the right time to be successful. Okay, so I just have a couple more questions for you. Knowing what you know now, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Don't drink alcohol.
Don't drink alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that as well? I mean, I think I
It,
could relate to that a bit in that I think if you don't drink, you don't spend your 20s partying, you can accomplish a lot more. So,
100%. And I mean, I've got so Ben, who runs our community, he's at that 18-year-old stage. We had a chat the other night about it, and he said it's an impediment. Now, I'd never seen it as an impediment, but he said, and the way he said it was very smart, is that it's all fine and well to go and have those parties and all the rest of it, but then it's the next day that you lose, and the next day is actually the
Hmm.
important day. And it's not. And my view has always been, it's not so much the next day that you lose, it's the bad decisions you make after that you don't even realize are bad decisions, because you're hungover,
Hmm.
you're slow, you eat badly, you get into a bad rut, etc., etc. Now,
Hmm.
I consciously don't drink very much. I mean, if any, I mean, I had on my birthday, which was 3 months ago, and actually I've lost the taste completely for alcohol. And I grew up in South Africa. We got the best wines in the world,
Yeah.
and I used to drink bottles of wine in a night. And the thought of drinking a glass of wine now makes me, physically ill. So and because of the reason why I'm bringing it up, and he talked about impediment, but I look at it more from a maximizing point of view. I can push harder because I'm healthier, and I can sleep less for periods because I've optimized that. So I cut out sugar periods as well, and then and all that kind of stuff. Now all these things in moderation are fine. You can have them, once in a while. Um, but it's if I look back on my life, that your 20s, that I had a lot of good stuff that I could have done, and
Yeah.
I didn't because of a hangover or a multiple all the partying, days, weeks of university and all the rest of it. So that's number one.